Dava Kunja Bihari Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanadhari Yamuna Tira Vanadhari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gaura Premanente. Jai Om Vishnupadaya Paramahamsa Parivrakracharya Stotarabhaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ISKCON Founder-Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Vallabha Bhagavan ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 4th canto, chapter 30, entitled The Descendants of Dhruva Maharaj, text number 24. Right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Etad akyahi mi Brahman. Etad akyahi mi Brahman. Sunitatmaja chestitam. Sunitatmaja chestitam. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya. Tvam paravara vitamaha. Tvam paravara vitamaha. Etad akyakimi Brahman. Etad akyahimi Brahman. Sunitatmaja chestitam. Sunitatmaja chestitam. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya. Tvam paravara vitamaha. Tvam paravara vitamaha. Tvam paravara vitamaha. Etad akyahi mi Brahman. Tunitam chestitam. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya. Tvam paravara vitamaha. tam paravaravitamah. Etadakyahi me Brahman Atmajaya Vitritam Shraddhananaya Bhaktaya tam paramaravitamah. Mataji's. Etadakyahi me Brahman Sunitatmaja chestitam Shraddhanaya Bhaktaya Etadakyahi Brahman Shraddhanaya Bhaktaya tam paramaravitamah. Etad, all these. Akyahi, please describe me unto me. Brahman, O great Brahmana, Sunita Atmaja, of the sons of Sunita, Vena, Shesisam, activities, Shraddha Danaya, faith, Bhaktaya, onto your devotee, Tvam, you, Paravara, with past and future, with Tamaha, well conversant. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Vitura requested Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, you are well conversant with all subjects, both past and future. We'll repeat the translation. Vitura requested Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, you are well conversant with all subjects, both past and future. Therefore, I wish to hear from you all the activities of King Vena. I am your faithful devotee. So please explain this. Purport. Vitura accepted Maitreya as his spiritual master. A disciple always inquires from the spiritual master, and the spiritual master answers the question, provided the disciple is very gentle and devoted. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura said that by the mercy of the spiritual master, one is blessed with the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master is not inclined to disclose all the secrets of transcendental science, unless the disciple is very submissive and devoted. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the process of receiving knowledge from the spiritual master entails submission, enquiry, and service. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guru Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahim Tadati Sva Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu-Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. If you got only 2 days left for Krishna Janmashtami, the birthday of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are all preparing for it, isn't it? So here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada concludes by saying, in Bhagavad Gita, the process of receiving knowledge from the spiritual master entails submission, inquiry, and service. So which purport or which verse is Srila Prabhupada referring to in Bhagavad Gita? What is the verse number? 4.34. Tatvidi pranipatena pariprakshena sevaya upadeshanti thi jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. So what the Lord is saying, approach a bona fide spiritual master. First thing is you have to approach. And then you submissively inquire from him. Don't demand from him. The material world everyone says we have to demand. So it is opposite. You don't demand. Submissively you inquire and you do service to him. Then what happens? These great personalities have realized the truth and they will impart the truth to you. So, what is the truth these great personalities have seen? A spiritual master or a pure devotee of the Lord is fully surrendered person. When one fully surrenders to Krishna, then what does Krishna do? He reciprocates with them like a friend. That's what he does. That is what Krishna does. That's his job. Krishna's job is quite different to what people have got in the mind and about God. He has got his energies doing for him, working for him. He doesn't do anything except reciprocating with devotees, right? That's what he does. So, if you are a fully surrendered devotee, his job is to reciprocate with you. That's what he does. Right? All the material management affairs is done by his energies. Material energy. One of the energy of the Lord. So through the material energy, the material worlds are created and they will manage. Through his spiritual energy, the spiritual worlds are managed and maintained. So what is his job? His job is to see who is reciprocating with him and to reciprocate with them. That's what Krishna does. So, in 2 days' time, or from now onwards, if you reciprocate with Krishna for his birthday, then he will also reciprocate with us. He's waiting. What you are doing for me? And then accordingly he will reciprocate. Here, this is a very good purport, and I would say lucky to talk on this purport about Guru-disciple relationship. Very, very important subject in our parampara system. So here, the Guru relationship is explained, okay? Guru and disciple relationship. So Vitura, it says in the very first line, Vitura accepted Maitreya as his spiritual master. All of you know about Vitura, right? Vitura is a brother of Dhritarashtra in Mahabharata, who belongs to the Kuru dynasty. Now, in the earlier chapter of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Vitura has met two great personalities. He has met Uddhava earlier, and now he has also met Maitreya. But before meeting Maitreya, before meeting Maitreya, Vitura has met Uddhava earlier. Where did he meet? On the banks of Yamuna. Vitura met Uddhava on the banks of Yamuna after the Supreme Lord has finished his pastime and is gone to his abode. At that time, Vidura was on a pilgrimage. He finished that, right? Towards the end, he was meeting, he was about to meet, and he met Uddhava too. There, they were exchanging, about their, how people are, about family, friends and all that. Once that's over, Vidura requested Uddhava to teach him the science of self-realization, the spiritual knowledge. But at that instance, Uddhava refused to teach Vidura. What's the reason? Why did he refuse? Maryada Vyatikrama, correct. Now, Uddhava is a cousin of Lord Krishna. So he is of the same age as Krishna. Vidura is like a father to Krishna, that age, elderly person. Now, according to the Vedic system, person who are younger, right, they will not teach the elders. Vedic is custom like that. So, Uddhava thought, I'm much younger to Vidura. Right? And how can I teach this elderly person? So it's not appropriate for me to teach. Therefore, he said, you go to Maitreya and learn, because Maitreya is very elderly personality, very saintly also you should learn. And moreover, that is the instruction of Lord Krishna himself to Vidura. He said, send Vidura to Maitreya, let him learn. So to follow in the disciplic succession, Uddhava requested Vidura to go and learn from Maitreya. Now, Uddhava and Maitreya both come from a very big lineage. Very powerful. Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods. Interesting, isn't it? And at the same time, Maitreya Muni is a disciple of Parasara Muni, who is a father of Vyasadeva, who wrote Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So the great lineage, right? See, interesting to note, even in those days, right, when there was demons and devotees, a definite classification of devotees and demons. Very well we know that what is the duty of a demon and what's the duty of a devotee. So what's a distinguishing feature between devotee and demon? Is devotees are the one who follows scriptures. The demons are the one, they do not follow scriptures. That is a definite classification between the two. But having said that, the demons also had gurus. Interesting, right? Because who is a demon's guru? Spiritual Sukracharya. They had demons. But this lineage, the so-called demons do not have a guru also, isn't it? They don't have a guru. But they say claim as demons. They are claimants, but they don't have a guru. So look at the high standard of Vedic system. Even the demons had gurus to direct them. Because one has to be directed in the material world. Because of the fact that we are tiny. We are tiny, insignificant soul. But due to false ego, ahankar, we think we are great. But you are tiny. So the tiny soul has to be either controlled by the material energy or spiritual energy. That is what it is. So we are like a child. We cannot be controlled. We cannot be left. Even though the independence is given, yet you come under one of the energies of the Lord, material or spiritual, in a sense. And what does a material energy do? The material energy binds a person by the rope of the three modes of material nature. Even though we think that we are free, no, we are bound by the three modes. So therefore we are not free. We have to rotate through the birth, the cycle of birth and death. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying that one should always seek the association of a saintly person and inquire from them. Our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is a classic example, isn't it? He taught us and is a perfect example of the Sankirtana movement, because he taught us how one has to preach the science of Krishna consciousness. Right? It was a personal example. He did that, and he also taught us how we have to teach the science of Krishna consciousness to others. So, Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yare deke tahe kaha Krishna bades amara agyana ana tarahi desa. So, whomever we see, we have to give this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. This is the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, because this is talking about today's purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about the guru and the disciple relationship. I thought, first of all, we have to understand who is a bona fide guru. Who is a bona fide guru? Now, Shastras, or the Vedic scriptures, talk about 6 criteria for a bona fide spiritual master. So, we have to make sure that all the gurus, right, they have to fulfill all the 6 criteria. So, the first criteria is the guru has to teach his disciple about only spiritual knowledge concerning Krishna. Because Krishna is completely spiritual. There is no material teaching in Krishna. Right? So the guru has to teach the spiritual knowledge concerning Krishna. He should not cheat his disciples by teaching or fulfilling material desires. We see recently, I don't know how many people have heard this, recently in the news in India, there is a person in Assam. Have you heard of that? One god man. He was trying to cheat people. He was saying by kissing and hugging ladies. What he's saying is, ladies have got problems, right? I can cure the problem by hugging and kissing them. Look at this phenomena. And ladies also going to him in Assam. And the police caught him. Because nothing is working out. The problem only increases. So, only one person at this stage, Prabhu. only one had come to the limelight, He was caught by the police. Right? So, we have to be aware or beware of the fake gurus. Okay, that's the first criteria. What's the second criteria? The second criteria is a guru should have a complete knowledge of the absolute truth. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, Satyate. So, there are 3 aspects of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada gives a common example. What's a common example Srila Prabhupada gives? Sun, the rays, and the sun globe itself. Okay? Now, the 3 features of absolute features of the Lord as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan aspect. Now, he should focus on the Bhagavan aspect. He is a bona fide spiritual master. And he should know the difference between a tiny living entity and a supreme soul. He should know the difference. And he should teach that science. Only he is called a bona fide guru. And third, the knowledge he gives should come from the disciplic succession. Parampara system. Because that is pure, coming down. And it should be as it is. He should not make concoction. So what does Srila Prabhupada talk about that? With regard to that, the guru's job is like a knowledge. How is he doing it? Like a postman. He is sending or is receiving post from the office and is passing on to the persons. He's not opening and saying what it is. So his job is to transfer the message as it is. And the fourth one is, criterion, is that he should be pure in character and saintly in behavior. How one gets that? By following the Vedic religious principles. If one does not follow the Vedic religious principle, then one cannot be pure in character. And therefore, you see all these kinds of problems, created by these godmen, gurus. Even during Srila Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada was asked, to go to one of the gurus, He just invited him and all that. Prabhupada attended. He did not say anything. Our Founder-Acharya. And then after the class is over, this guru was smoking. And he's teaching about yoga. Yoga means control of the senses. So he's not able to control his senses. But he's smoking. And he was asking Srila Prabhupada, how can I stop smoking cigarettes? This guru. So, we can see this kind of thing. Why this is coming? Because one is not following the proper regulative principles. Therefore, one will not be pure in character, and therefore, one will not get a saintly behavior. There are so many kinds of gurus coming up, Many examples can be given. One such guru one guru said that, I am going to control the sun and the moon movement. In India. And then he went on to the stage. At the time, what happened was he had a severe toothache. So he left the stage. He's a guru. He's controlling the movements of the sun and the moon. Another guru said that I will show the power of my youth. But on the way, he collapsed, he fell down, and he was taken to the hospital. There are so many, and the worst thing is they come onto the stage to prove that, and they are defeated all the time. Because the material energy, as Srila Prabhupada says, is very, very stringent. Right? It is very stringent. It is again an energy of the Lord. So the way Krishna has designed the material energy is that those who are not serving Krishna through devotion service, what happens? Those who are not serving Krishna through the devotional service, this material energy traps them and binds them. That is how it does. So those who are engaged in Krishna service, then the material energy is basically free. You cannot say that I'm completely free, because it's always there, up to Baba stage. But it will not be very fierceful. It will not be very forceful, right? You can have the feel, but one can continue the regular sadhana, whatever may be. So, it's very, very important that how you understand and how you behave. So, we went up to how many points we discussed for the guru, out of the 6 criterion. How many finished? 4. The 5th one is, a guru should do devotion service, and he should always also engage others in the devotion service. This is the 5th criteria. And what's the 6th criteria? The highest of all is that the guru should preach the science of Krishna consciousness throughout the world. The 6th criteria. You should not stop with that. Now we have got an example of Srila Prabhupada, throughout the globe. Nowhere, he didn't live anywhere, throughout the globe. So this is the parampara system, bona fide spiritual master. One should one should surrender to this bona fide spiritual master and do service to him. That's what Krishna is meaning. Now, in the purport, in Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Srila Prabhupada mentions that if, how in the last line, Srila Prabhupada mentions how it entails submission, enquiry, and service, right? And Srila Prabhupada says that if there is no submission and service to the guru, then the enquiry is ineffective. It's not going to work. So we have to understand this point very clearly. Submission and service produces enquiry, which is very beneficial to us. Okay. Now, in the previous verses, right, we have seen how The Brahmanas are cursing, right? You know the chain of action, incidents happening, right? We have come to the stage where Anga, one of the devotee, and Anga is a very saintly devotee and a king, and is also coming from the lineage of Dhruva Maharaj. Okay, this Anga had a son named Vena, and is very cruel. Even from the young age, he will go with his friends, okay, like you. And if the friend doesn't listen to him, what he will do? He chop off the head. So cruel is Anga. Now, this Anga, what happened is the Brahmins tried to tell him, right? You have to follow the religious and Vedic principles. You have to offer your respect to the Supreme Lord and make everyone devotee, because he was a king. Eh? But he was not listening. So, what the Brahmins did is, they all congregated and they chanted a Vedic mantra and killed him through a mantra. Vena was killed. And the story continues, right? It continues. Now, the Brahmanas at that time had a power to curse. And it will come true. But today, I just thought of two stories, okay? Just to highlight this. The first story is about how a Brahmana curses a person, but still that curse is ineffective. Right? Do you understand this, what I'm trying to say? Here, we have seen previously that Brahmanas all combined together and they cursed Vena, and Vena died because Brahmana's curse is very powerful. Right? But today, we are going to see a story of a Brahmana who cursed a devotee, but still nothing happened to the devotee. That story we are going to see. And then, in the Brahminical or in the Vedic system, there are two sides, to a Brahmana's action. One is a cursing, other one is blessing. It's not that all the time a Brahmana curses, he also blesses. Okay? Now, just a small story with a couple of incidents, about the blessings. That also we'll see today. All right? So in that way, we know how we are connecting to the purport here. Now, any guess? Can you guess the story which I'm going to think, or I'm going to tell you, is about in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Huh? No. Give us a hint. It's in the 9th canto. Dynasty, yeah, but who's a person? The person it's a very rare personality. I don't know, many might have. It's in the 9th canto, 2nd chapter. It comes under the dynasty of King Manu. The dynasty is the sons of Manu. His name is Prisada. Have you heard of it? Prisadra. Now, he is a very saintly character, king, and he is a Kshatriya. Now, his guru is Vasishtha Muni. Vasishtha Muni is also the guru of Lord Ramachandra. Now, Vishwamitra also had, but his family guru is Vasishtha. Very powerful person, right? Vasishtha Muni curse, you just imagine. Now, what happened? His spiritual master said that apart from ruling the king, I'll give you a special work. Your work or your service is to take care of the cows and nicely take care of the cows, okay? Especially in Goshalas and all that. So, in order to please the Guru, what he did was, in the night time, he used to guard the Goshala, where the cows are there. Why? Because those days, in the night, it's not like this. We can put light also in the night. It's dark, really. And the wild animals like tiger and lion will come and eat the cows. Okay? So the king's job is to protect the citizen. And those days, a citizen is not only human being. It's any living entity. Whichever moves, they have to protect. This is an attitude they had. So he decided, okay, I will protect the Goshala. It's a big cow, Goshala. I'll protect every day night. I'll do it as a service, even though he's a king. He was a king. Now, one day, when it was quite dark, on a new moon day, even the stars was covered by the clouds, which means practically it was pitch dark. Night times you see the stars. Even the stars was covered on that day. So on that day, when he was guarding and all that, he could hear some of the cows were, crying, making noises, because it was attacked. He could also sense that there was a tiger attacking a group of cows, So the cows obviously got scared. Now he knew that there is some danger to the cow. So he was watching. They have a very good, hearing sense, through the noise, through the sound they can track. They can understand who the animal is and whatever the aspects are. Because the hearing was quite good. So he sensed that there is some danger to the cows. So he just observed it. And then he took his sword. And then he also sensed that there is a tiger which is attacking the cow. But with fierce strength, what he did was, he was to kill the tiger. But what happened? The tiger slipped through. Only the ear of the tiger was cut, and the sword cut the head of a cow. So the cow was killed. He didn't realize that because it was the night. The next day morning, he went and saw that the cow was dead. So he was feeling a very remorse. Actually, I am supposed to protect the cow. Hi, Griva. Can you come here, please? Come, sit down here. Why you are going there? Come here. Come. You should sit with your friends. You're changing your position. Huh? So, he was feeling remorse. And then to add injury to that, Vasishtha Muni came to know about it. And Vasishtha Muni is very, very, very fierce also, And at that time, what happened? The Vasishtha Muni came to know that he has killed a cow. And therefore, he got upset. And therefore, he cursed him. Just a pause here. Now, Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, our previous Acharya, he is commenting that aspect, that Vasishtha, at that time, he was not very intelligent. A guru, I should be very, very careful with a disciple. This is what the comment given by Acharya. Okay? So he is not, this is what he's saying. He's not very intelligent. So already the disciple is feeling remorse for his action. To add on to that, the guru will not add on, add in insult. So what he did was, he got upset, angry, and he cursed him to become he said, you are a king. You are not fit to take care of a cow. One cow, single cow. So you are unfit to be a king. So in the next birth, you become a Sudra. Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. So 2 levels down. He got depromotion. Right? Because in a typical environment, Vedic system, one should understand that it is all meant to progress. A typical Varnashrama Vedic system is meant to progress, which means a Sudra, by doing service to all the other ashrams, what does he do? In the next birth, he rises to the Vaishya platform. A Vaishya, right, by doing services, his prescribed duties, he naturally becomes a Kshatriya in his next birth. A Kshatriya, again, by doing his prescribed duties, he goes and becomes a Brahmin. And therefore, a Brahmin, in the next birth, he goes back to Godhead. So a Sudra, within 5 births time, he goes back to Godhead. That's the system. Now, a Sudra will get an animal body. Because he's not going up, he's going down. Because there is an error in the application. Srila Prabhupada says, royal road to hell. This is a present civilization. If you follow the present civilization, it is leading to hell. That is what it is. So one should be very careful what activities you are doing and which institution you are attached to. Very, very important. Because the government is not telling you what kind of body you are going to get next. They are interested only in your dollars as tax. Which government is telling you what body you are going to get next? Including the Indian government. They don't know. So, he got cursed, to become a Sudra. Then he thought, oh, I got depromotion, come on. Now, he's very intelligent. You know what he did? He thought, yes, Vasishtha Muni is very powerful. Right? It is like in the present stage, having an argument with your boss. If you have an argument with your boss at work, what will happen? Jadabharat Prabhu? What will happen to your boss? What will happen if you have an argument with your boss?
To us or to boss?
Huh?
What will happen to us?
Yeah.
We will get fired.
That's it. Finish. Out. You are out. So just to give a comparison. So in those days, you cannot even argue that. Very powerful. You get one more curse if you argue. So he said, fine, let me think, work on these problems. So what he did was, he thought, let me become a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay? So he was very firm in his determination. So he was very, very firm. He did devotion service to Krishna. He became a very pure devotee. He was completely beyond the bodily platform. He was not at all on the bodily platform. He was just acting as a soul, just like Rishabhadev. Right? Just like Rishabhadev. And then, at one particular instance, there was some fire, and he entered into the fire, and he gave up his body. Guess what happened? He went back to Godhead, because he did pure devotion service. Krishna explains that, right? Those who do pure devotion service, they will come back to me. This is a promise given by Krishna. So, in this case, what happened? Even though Vasishtha was a very powerful Brahmana, he cursed Prasada, but yet his curse did not work. Because the curse at the end of the day works on the body, material body. It doesn't affect the soul. So he was acting on the spiritual platform, on the soul. Therefore, he went back to Godhead. And he saved himself. So, if one is a devotee of Krishna, very sincerely, if he does devotion service, then one can very easily overcome the material problems. It's very easy, It's not that one has to struggle. Naturally, by linking to Krishna, the material problems will become lesser and lesser. We ourselves can experience that, isn't it? It's mine. So, therefore, one can conclude that there is no problem in the spiritual energy. All the problems are created by the material energy. There's no problem in the spiritual energy. So, if one is Krishna conscious, in the pure way, as we gradually grow up, so there is no problem in the spiritual energy. All the problems are lying in the material energy only. So this is a story I thought, which will, tell us how one can nullify even the curse of a great Brahmana. One can do that. And then the other story, what I thought is, as the blessings and the curse, right? Not only that, saintly people only curse. They also bless. Now, very quickly, before we move that, did we discuss that? What are some of the curses in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Where someone is cursed. How many incidents are there? Let us quickly review, Curses. The first set is, Parishit Maharaj was cursed by whom? Shringi Brahman, who is the son of Saumika Rishi. Okay. And then? Jai and Vijay, that's the outer surface here. They have been cursed by the 4 Kumaras. And then? Cursed by Narada Muni in the 10th canto, that's right. And then? Pratikshas. Narada Muni cursing the sons of fifth Rishabhadev, right? Narada Muni sends a set of sons to the, to practice austerity. The sons of Daksha. Sons of Daksha, right? So Narada Muni got cursed back, for that. Narada Muni was sending a batch of, he was producing Daksha, he was producing, 10,000, 20,000 sons. And every time, Narada Muni was sending them to take a renounced order of life. And then Narada Muni was cursed, that he should not live in a place for more than 3 days. He said, that's good. Narada Muni thought that's a good thing for me. And what's the other curses? Ambrish Maharaj. It's not a curse actually, isn't it? It's like it was offensive behavior, because no one can curse a pure devotee, isn't it? It was, he just pulled a demon. He pulled his air and he created a fiery demon just to threaten the Ambrish Maharaj. It's not like a curse, like a threaten him.
Prabhu, few of the demons in the Krishna Leela, they were cursed. They were devotees before, but they were cursed to become demons. Like Shaktasur, Agasur, they were all devotees before in previous lifetime, so I'm not sure if that...
But is it mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Does Srila Prabhupada mention about it? We have to be careful, because there are so many stories in India, right? All they come up with their own stories. And each sampradaya will also come up with their own stories, So we have to be quite careful about the bona fide ones. Whether are they bona fide? Is Srila Prabhupada making any reference? Or any of our acharyas are they quoting that? You know what I mean? It's always better. Gandhari cursing Krishna. Yeah, the dynasty of Yadu. Chitraketu is a good example. So we learn from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam that one has to be very, very careful, right, with his behavior. So the expert Srila Prabhupada is also mentioning that, one should be submissive. If one is submissive, then one will mind their behavior, isn't it? Submissive, and you should be having a service attitude. Then the inquiry will be effective, and one will be quite careful also, because this offensive mentality comes when one has pride. So recently, there was one, how we have the WhatsApp with our Guru Maharaj team, JSSS, Jayapataka Samoha Seva Sabha. Now in that, once someone asked Guru Maharaj, I want to be happy. I want happiness. This person asked Guru Maharaj, I want happiness. What should I do? Then Guru Maharaj very cleverly said, remove I, which is ego, remove want, which is material desires, then what is left is happiness. I want happiness. Remove I, false ego. Remove want. So if you remove your false ego, if you remove your material desires, then what is left? That is what it is. Right? Unless one goes after material desires, you will not get happiness. This is how this Krishna is designed like that. Material world is designed. It's a place of duality. It is meant to trouble. It is designed like that. It has got two sides. For simple thing, if you take an apple, from the tree and you leave it, what happens? You don't eat it. What happens? Is apple as fresh as it was taken, or will it be there for a while? After a few days, after 1 week, what happens? What? It decays. Why? Yes, because science gives an answer. Because there's oxygen in the air, and all the living entities survive on oxygen. Right? The air has got two components, nitrogen and oxygen. Oxygen, is a very essential nutrient for all the living entities. So the worms are also there. They need also oxygen. So they thrive on it, and the apple is decayed. So very simple example. So what we see from that example is, in this world, everything is created, maintained, and annihilated. Doesn't matter. It could be a brand new car. The brand new car is going to become old. But what the materialists or the demons are focusing is, how this world has got positive and negative, right? But the demons focus on the positive side. The devotees, they know the positive and negative, but they don't focus on the negative, but they focus on something which is above the positive and negative. So this is a fundamental principle. For example, when someone buys a new car, okay, the car will become old after 5 years, or there will be an accident, someone will scratch, or a hailstorm, the the snow will fall from the sky and it will dent your car. What are you going to do? Something will happen, okay? But the materialistic, what they're doing is, they're saying, okay, sell the old car and buy another new car. They're focusing on the positive side of the material energy. But what we know is, we know not only the positive, but also the negative side, and therefore we try to transcend. Because as long as one is on the material energy, there will be enjoyment and suffering will be there, sooner or later. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam says this, right? What does it say? As long as a living entity does not look for happiness, there is no suffering. The moment he looks for happiness, what happens? Distress will follow. Not suffering, it will follow you. Bhagavata. On its own accord, it's all coming. Happiness and distress, it's all coming. So we should leave it like that. It will come on its own accord. We should not chase after that. Your karma, whatever is there in this body, it has to be there. Okay. Now, I just forgot one point about the spiritual institutions also, It is very, very important that a spiritual institution should focus on the reality, which is the soul, not on the bodily platform. Because we see also, so many spiritual institutions are there, they're focusing on the material aspects. Right? Building a hospital, it's not bad, but it's only for the body. They are building an educational institution. But what Srila Prabhupada did is, we are also doing that. See, in the Kerala floods was there, isn't it? A very big, flood in Kerala. So, other institutions like, this Ravi Shankar Institute and all that, they're also giving food. But we are also giving food. What's the difference? We are giving prasadam, and therefore, they progress in the spiritual life. But the other people, they're just feeding the body. But we are feeding the body at the same time, the soul as well. The other institutions are not having this approach. So one of the very important points of a spiritual institution is that one should realize, or they should have knowledge pertaining to the realization of the soul. Otherwise, as Srila Prabhupada says, it's ineffective. It's a waste of time. Okay. Now we see a few things where I was thinking that how a Brahmana not only curses but also gives blessings. Okay. Now this is a very small story, guys. You listen. This is a sage. Once a sage was traveling. Okay. Now a sage normally, he goes from place to place. As he was going, he came across 4 people. The first person the sage came across was a prince. When he saw the prince, he went into the chamber of the prince. Prince means he's a son of a king. He went there, he saw very opulent nature, and the king was also very enjoying. Then he thought, yes, he looked at the prince and he blessed him. You die soon. What did he say? My apologies. He said, live forever. Very confusing. My apologies. Live forever. You know why? Why did he say that? We'll discuss that a bit later. Then he saw the prince and he said, live forever. Then he met a son of a saintly person, a guru, a Muniputra. And then for him, he said that you die, you don't live. There's a deeper meaning to that. Then next he saw a devotee of Krishna. Then he said, you can live or you can die as you wish. And the last one he saw was a butcher. To the butcher he said, don't live, don't die. Okay. So the first one is prince. Why did he tell the prince, live forever? Any guess?
Enjoy.
Yeah. Correct. We discussed a minute ago, this thing, material distress will follow. So the prince is right now enjoying sense gratification, the contact of the senses with the sense object. So Krishna explains this, right? In the 5th point, the 5.21. Krishna explains. The material energy means contact with the senses and the sense object. That's all it is. Therefore, Krishna says, an intelligent person will avoid the contact between senses and sense object. If you are intelligent, you will avoid that. And what will you do? You engage the senses in the service of Krishna. So, this prince was enjoying. And what is waiting for him is? What is waiting for him? Distress, suffering. So, if he dies, in the next birth, he may become animal or Sudra, who knows? And then he has to suffer. So he said, live in the palace as long as you are, and then once you die, your life is gone, finished, You have to suffer. So that is why he said, live forever. Then, with the Muniputra, he said, die, don't live. Why? Because the son of a saintly person is a Brahmachari. Being a Brahmachari is very, he has to do a lot of austerities, tapasya, right? And he has to always do devotion service and read scriptures and all that. So because of that, he said, you die. So that next birth, he can return back to Godhead. If you do devotion service, next birth you can go. With the devotee, he said, don't live, don't die.
No, either live
Sorry.
or die.
What did he say? My apologies. He said, you may live or die as you wish. You may live or die as you wish. Why did he say live or die as you wish?
Because same thing can happen next life too.
Correct. He's not only doing devotion service in this life, also in the next life also, he'll be doing devotion service. Whether, for a devotee, right, location is not a problem. It is said, right? Whether you are in Mumbai or Melbourne, doesn't matter. Yeah. It's the same, you do devotion service. So for a pure devotee, it is said that whether they are in hellish planet or in Vaikuntha, they don't care. It's a devotion service. Srila Prabhupada, whether Vrindavan or America, devotion service. They don't care. So this is how a devotee is. So you may live or die. And for the butcher, he said, what did he say? Don't live, don't die. Why is that? The butcher, every day, if he lives, he'll be going to do a lot of sins. He's going to accumulate more karma. And if he dies also, he has to pay penalty for his karma. So if he lives also, he's going to do sin. If he dies also, there'll be suffering. So it's a very precarious situation. So don't live, don't die. So this is the situation. Okay, I think we'll stop here. If there's any questions, comments, or corrections?
Just a comment is Govardhan also was cursed to decrease. Govardhan was cursed to decrease by every.
One mustard seed, I heard.
Question is, Vidura met Maitreya after meeting Uddhava, after the passing away of Krishna from the world, from the other world. Did he met Maitreya before also when he went to pilgrimage during the war of Kurukshetra?
I'm not sure. I think that's not mentioned there, because Maitreya comes into the picture after Uddhava. In the 3rd canto, it is said that Uddhava is telling Vidura to go and see Maitreya, and therefore, when at that time, when Vidura met Uddhava, he was on the banks of Yamuna. Then Uddhava requested Vidura to go and see Maitreya Muni on the banks of Ganges. So he has to travel there and see.
Who did he met during his pilgrimage during the war of Kurukshetra? Whom did he met?
He went on a pilgrimage. I don't know. Anyone knows Prabhu? Did he meet? I don't know. Bhagavatam doesn't say. I don't know. He might have met a lot of other saintly persons. But this spiritual science, right, it has to come from a spiritual master. Therefore, the desire of Krishna is Vidura should learn from Maitreya Muni. Because as we discussed, right, Uddhava and Krishna, they are of the same age. And Vidura is a very elderly personality. How can an elderly personality learn from a young person according to the Vedic customs? So therefore, he said, no, sorry, you go to Maitreya Muni and learn. Therefore, he traveled all the way to the banks of Ganges, from Yamuna to the Ganges. And Maitreya Muni was there, and he was giving the science of knowledge, where the question and answers, a lot of question and answers are asking, and that is what it leads to the future chapters.
We can learn from the elderly people, they can learn from young people to live the culture, right? Because they are not identifying as a body.
Correct. You're right. In that sense, Prahlad Maharaj was only 5 years old. But only that person is a pure devotee of the Lord. For a pure devotee acts on the spiritual platform, on the soul. If you are not on that level, then, you can take some instructions, Srila Prabhupada says that you can take even instruction from a fool. If a fool says that there is a gold coin there, you take it, use it. You may be a fool, but what he says is correct, right? There's a gold coin there. Okay. See, it's very important for us in our institution that where the instruction is coming from. You see a person who's in Krishna conscious, who's giving you spiritual direction, or is telling you, stop doing Krishna conscious, earn $25 per hour and make a house. Right? Anyone can give this instruction. Right? In Melbourne, oh, you come to Melbourne, you got visa. Why do you please start earning dollars, for what? Sooner or later you have to die. Because you earn dollars, doesn't mean that your lifespan will be increased. No. But Krishna, on the contrary, he says that in the 14th chapter, one can increase the duration of life by being in the mode of goodness. We follow that or this. If you work in the present, I tell you, in the present work environment, you're going to decrease your lifespan. Because the amount of stress they're going to give you here, they'll give you more money and kill you. It's slow poison. That's a fact. So Krishna, on the contrary, says mode of goodness means, right, increase of duration of life. And therefore, mode of goodness is a good platform to take up devotion service. But actually, mind you, devotional service starts only at the Brahman platform. So what we are all doing is sadhana bhakti. We should not be carried away, oh, we are the best devotees. No, we have not started devotion service. Because pure devotional service starts at the Brahman platform, which means you should think that this body is just like a matter, like a dress. You are wearing a dress. Are we thinking like that? No, we are governed by the modes. The mind tells us go and do something, we are doing. So we are still governed by the three modes. We are tied up by the three modes, like a chain. Srila Prabhupada explains. Whether you have a gold chain or something, it's a chain. You're bound up. So unless you are on a spiritual platform, it's very difficult. You're not started devotion service. You're just doing something. Krishna is, kind. He's reciprocating at all levels. But we have really not started pure devotion service. Completely on the Brahman platform. That's not me. Krishna explains. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. For him, Krishna says, for him, happiness, distress, everything is equal. He is always joyful. There is no moment for him to be upset. It's a very high level actually. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. Na sosyati, na kanshyati. Everything, distress, happiness, everything is the same. That's a very high level. But for us, it's recommended that we follow our Founder-Acharya, do the sadhana bhakti. Then slowly one progress. It's a very slow process for us.
There's also this quote in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that if one performs devotional service, immediately attains the Brahma platform.
Yeah, that is true. Immediately when you are in contact with Krishna, because Krishna is completely spiritual and is beyond the three modes. The moment you say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now we were in spiritual and we came down to material now. We finished. We stopped chanting. Unless you are chanting 24 hours a day, you will be on the spiritual platform. Are we doing that? Yes, this 1 second you were there, or few minutes you were there, few seconds. Therefore, Krishna is completely spiritual. Every second, are we in Krishna conscious? A pure devotee does that. Probably very high level. We have got stages to proceed, right? So, that is true, you're right. When you're chanting, Krishna puts us in the spiritual level. Because anything you do with Krishna, right? Krishna's name, Krishna's prasadam, Krishna's devotees, you are on the now we are in transcendental energy. There's no problem for you. You are smiling, Prabhu. You go out at 10:30 and then you see the troubles coming up, correct? All the Matajis are also very happy. But you wait and see next 1 hour. Go outside of the temple. So as long as you are with Krishna, who is a reservoir of happiness, there is no distress. How can there be distress if one is with Krishna? We are with Krishna, Radha Ballabha. The moment you go away from him, you feel it, okay? You make a note of it. Agree with Prabhu? And especially when you travel into the city, slowly the modes are very, very good there. The passion and ignorance attack you. And then from the soul, spiritual platform, you come to the bodily platform. So the whole Vedic system of life was to move from body to soul. That is what our life is. Not deteriorate from body to lower animals. Vedic system means from body you move to soul. And this is the process. The only process available in this day and age. I have also seen, I am from India, a lot of process I have seen, but nothing worked for me anyway. It's a practical process. You can still work. You have still be with the family, right? Srila Prabhupada did not say come and join to the temple. No. You can be with your family. But you add Krishna. Bring Krishna to your house. Simple. Yes.
Can we still, in the city, around the people, ignorant, passion and everything, we can still maintain our consciousness, right?
As long as you are with Krishna, spiritual energy.
Yeah, we can be anywhere in the world, but we can still maintain the consciousness.
Correct. As long as you are the spiritual energy, you can maintain. Because we are spirit souls actually. The moment you are not with Krishna, the moment you are not doing devotion service, you are actually dropped down. That's how Krishna's energy works. Both are energy of Krishna. The material energy is also Lord's energy. The spiritual energy is also Lord's energy. We are also Lord's energy. But we are tiny. So we are either controlled by the material energy or spiritual energy. As long as you are with Krishna, you are in the spiritual energy. As long as you leave Krishna, material energy. So absence of Krishna is material energy.
Location doesn't matter.
Location, doesn't matter. But we have to stick on. That's the principle. Okay. We'll stop here. Gantara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nithaya Gaura Prema.